Welcome to Meg's Mysteries. This is February's Mystery Stories. This one is called Never Leave Me Lonely. 1940s. I met the most wonderful young soldier at the dance hall tonight. I've been sneaking out to join my friends at the dance hall. We get paid 10 cents a dance to dance with the soldiers and young men who are lonely and far away from home. Some are on leave from fighting the war, and some are waiting to join their units to fight for us. This is the start of the war. We don't do it for the money. I have plenty from my family, but for the excitement of meeting new people. Geraldine said, "Lillian, come out with me. You're such a wallflower. Come out of your cocoon and live." So each Friday night, I tell my father I'm staying at Geraldine's, the only friend that he approves of. Little does he know that she's the wild one and almost gets me into trouble all the time at the all-girls school we attend. Just by luck, we never get caught. This night changed my whole world. Love can do that to a young one when they think they are invincible. We're known as the taxi dancers, or dime-a-dance girls at the dance hall. Many servicemen are glad to pay a dime a dance to dance with us or just to talk. If my father knew, he would die. He's such a well-known pillar of community, and he owns the largest bank in the area. I never wanted for nothing, but I did want a mother. Mine died at birth, so nannies and servants were my family. Until now. Now I'll be going to boarding school for the first time, away from home. I'm only 16, but this will be an exciting new adventure, and I'm looking forward to it. Things can change in a minute. I met Tony. He was on leave for 1 week before he was shipped out to fight for us in World War II. We spent all his leave together after that first dance. I told my father I was with Geraldine, and she was glad to cover for me when we snuck out. Then the week went by so fast, and now it's time for him to ship out. He said, "I have something to ask you. Will you marry me? I know we only just met, but I never want to leave you. And if you're mine, I can go to war, a happy man." I said, "Yes, but you'll have to ask my father." He said, "I'll do anything for you, just to be with you." What a mistake that was. I brought him home, and he asked my father for my hand. I had to tell father everything and how we met. The hardest part was seeing the anger in his eyes as he told me, "Go to your room. I'll talk to your young man alone." Tony smiled and said, "It's okay. We have a lot to discuss." But I knew my father's temper. I didn't want to go, but then our butler, Alistair, came into the room. So I felt father won't lose his temper with somebody else in the room. I left, but I tried to hear what they were saying, but it was like they were whispering. A while later I heard the door slam, so I ran down and Tony was gone. Father said, "I paid him off. You'll not be seeing him again. It was easy. He only wanted money, not you, you silly girl." I was heartbroken. I didn't believe it. I ran to my room, never to see Tony again. I tried to ask around, but no one knew anything. I guess he just shipped off. He just wanted the money. What a fool I was. I couldn't face anyone, so I stayed in my room. The servants brought me food, but I couldn't eat, and I was making myself sick. Weeks went by, then a month. I made myself sick with grief, but I was not only sick from heartbreak. I found out I was to have his baby. Father was so angry. He said, "Have this baby, give it up for adoption. You ruined your life, you'll not be disgracing me. I worked too hard for respect and the station in this life." I stayed in my room, broken, lonely, and ashamed. I was going mad with grief. How could I believe he loved me? Our butler, Alistair, and Nina, the maid, were the only ones kind to me. Then Father sent me away to a place for unwed mothers to have the baby. When they came to take her away from me, I went crazy. I tried to run away with her. Father told me I was mad, and he signed me away to a crazy house. Yes, my own father said I was insane and locked me away. I did go quite mad, locked away. Little did I know he kept my baby girl. I never saw her again till 16 years later. I'm now 32, and my father was up in years and very ill. Our butler, Alistair, always came to visit me all those years. He was my only friend. But he was holding on to a secret he was sworn to keep, but now he told me the whole truth. He told me Father kept my sweet baby girl and raised her. She grew up in the house until she was 10, and then she was sent away to school. He told people I was married and lived abroad, and she was his cousin's child. The parents had both were killed, and he took her in. I was horrified. He just locked me away and took her and brought her up as a daughter he always wanted. Then Alistair told me the whole horrible truth. That night, Tony never left. Father tried to pay him off, but to no avail. So in a rage, Father killed him with the fireplace poker. Alistair was there and saw it all. He made him take the body and bury it in the rose garden. Father murdered Tony and made me go mad. Now Father is dying. He sent for Elizabeth Ann. He named her after his mother. I couldn't even name my own daughter. Now dying, he made Elizabeth Ann come home from school, and she'll inherit everything. Alistair told her that Father had done so many years ago, and to me. So she found me and brought me home to live with her with the servants. But I lived in that place so long, I truly went mad. This is Elizabeth Ann. I found Mother. I was told I didn't have one by Grandmother. Grandfather was such a bully, a liar and a killer. Alistair told me the whole truth. Grandfather can't hurt anyone again. He died in misery. So Mama will come home now and live with me, as we always should have been, together. I always felt something wasn't right, but now we all live together. She mostly stays in her room on the 3rd floor. She's still a little scared of people. Only Alistair and Nina and I are in her life now. We take care of her. Music, dancing are her life, and the old movies. We all get together and watch them. I found all her old records and brought them to her, and she teaches me all the dances she did as a young girl. One afternoon we were listening to the radio, and a song came on. A 1959 Everly Brothers, Let It Be Me. It made her cry out. That's what Tony said to me when he asked me to marry him. She started to cry, but she said, it's happy tears. Could I play the song again? I said it was on the radio, but I can get you the record, and then you can play it as much as you like. So that afternoon I sent Alistair out to buy the record. So now that's all she does is play the record and dance to it. Sometimes we hear her singing along with it. But I notice a dark mood comes over her when she sings. Never leave me lonely. I only leave her when I go to work at the Army hospital near our home. I volunteer, and I met a young doctor, Dr. James Whitnall. We've been going out for some time, and we made plans to marry soon. He comes to visit, and he met my mother. I told him she was ill, but I didn't tell him nothing else. I'll tell him the whole truth and the whole story someday, but for now, it's our secret. Well, we're finally married now, and he's to report for duty for the Vietnam War. It just started, and they need young doctors. But he never made it to report for duty. The afternoon he came home in his uniform, I was still at work, and he was waiting in the study for me. Mother came down from her room and saw him standing by the desk. She said, "Oh, my love, my Tony, you came back for me." All she saw was a young, handsome man in a uniform. Then she started to sing and say, "A dime a dance, G.I.?" Still thinking it was her Tony. James said, "Mother, it's me, James." And then he went to leave to get Alistair for help. She looked so confused, and as he tried to go, she grabbed the letter opener from the desk. and she stabbed him in the heart. As I was walking into the room, I saw him fall down dead, and her singing, "You'll never leave me lonely." I fainted and woke up the next night in my room. Alistair told me he took care of it all. Mother was locked in her room. I couldn't believe it. She killed him. But how can I lock my mother away again and call the police on my own mother? Alistair took the body like he did so many years ago, and he buried it in the garden, the rose garden. The army came looking for James, but we told him he never came home. He must have deserted me and the army. They kept checking, but so many young men had gone to Canada to escape the war. Finally, they gave up. I found out weeks later that I was going to have his child. The servants kept the secret, and Alistair took charge again. I had a baby girl. I named her Hetty, like the noir actress Hedy Lamarr in the movies we always watched. What a family we made. Servants, a crazy old lady, and me, all bringing up Hetty. 14 years later. Hetty. I never knew my mother. She fell down the stairs to her death when I was 2 in a horrible accident. That was what they all told me. The servants and my grandmother brought me up, and now I'm 16 and I help out with Grandma and take care of her. Alistair still takes care of all of us. I'm now at the age where I can go out with my friends to parties. One night my date came to pick me up for a dance. As I was getting ready, he waited in the parlor. Grandmother saw him and got confused again, like she always did when meeting new people. She said, "Tony, you're back." The poor guy didn't know what to do. He said, "I'm Hetty's date. My name is Billy." Grandmother said, "You'll not leave me again." And then she grabbed the fireplace poker and went after him. At the same time, Alistair came into the room. He tried to get the poker away from her. They both struggled and she fell and hitting her head. She died in his arms saying, "You'll never leave me lonely." This time we had no choice. We had to call the police. Billy was a witness to her crazy assault. Alistair finally confessed to the police and to me just what happened all those years ago, about the murders and where the bodies were buried. Also, he told us my mother was pushed down the stairs to her death. Grandmother had taken me to her room, and Mother tried to take me back. There was a struggle, and Grandmother pushed her down the stairs, saying, "You'll not take my baby again." She killed her own daughter, Elizabeth Ann, my mother. Grandmother was truly insane, but was it her fault? What do you think? It all comes out in the end. Secrets cannot be buried forever. Well, how did you like that one? Did you guess that she was just a crazy old lady? But what made her crazy? Come back for more of Meg's Mysteries next time. Have a good evening.